Hello and welcome to this month's Ask Me Anything, where we sit down with a local nonprofit and we talk about what they're working on. My name is Katie Murnian. I am the operations manager here at the Helena Area Community Foundation. And our nonprofit of the month this month is the Montana Playwrights Network. So I'm just going to go ahead and jump into our questions. So first of all, would you please introduce yourself, your title, and the name of your organization?
Yes, my name is Pamela Mencher, and I am very pleased to be the president of the Montana Playwrights Network and the executive director of the Helena Avenue Theater.
Awesome, thank you. In 10 words or less, would you please tell us what your lovely organization does?
Yes, the Montana Playwrights Network is a statewide organization, and so we work throughout Montana to create and share stories, just about of all kinds, but especially here in Helena at the theater.
Oh, okay. And where is your theater?
It is located down just almost by the, well, let me start that over. The theater is at the corner of Helena Avenue and Roberts, and it's just a block west of the train station, the old depot.
Oh, fantastic. Okay, yeah. That's awesome. Thank you.
Yeah.
We do have some questions from our viewers on Facebook. So I'd like to go through those and just talk about your organization. So our first one is, what is one thing you wish people knew about your organization?
I would say that the most prevalent view is that people don't know that we do almost everything.
Yeah.
And so we do workshops, we train people in writing and in communications as far as how to present in public, even how to interact through the telling of stories in interpersonal relationships. We also train businesses in terms of their story culture that they are developing or have developed within the context of their business. And so people, I think, are surprised when they really contemplate the notion that story is literally everywhere and that it is the foundation of all human interaction and society.
Oh, that's fantastic. So people can just sign up to come to one of your workshops, or they can sign up as a business and come learn how to tell their stories through you.
Exactly.
Oh, that's so cool.
And we're called the Montana Playwrights Network, but that doesn't mean that we're just for playwrights. We support all different writing forms, but we also train people in performance, like theater production for acting or directing or playwriting, technical theater. Because it's how you tell your story that often will have a greater impact, because it's not what we say, it's how we say it that really carries the message. So for example, if I say to you, I am just so glad to be here today, Katie, you know, who you really believe that my words, you believe the
you
way
remind me
I
of a middle
said it.
schooler a little bit.
Exactly. So I think people don't really realize how important it is to our personal successes, whether it's in business or in our interpersonal relationships, because I am constantly amazed at how difficult it is to communicate accurately, because people can misunderstand you like that, or you even misunderstand yourself.
Absolutely.
You think you're doing something, but it's really not what is coming across.
Yes, absolutely.
So it's text and subtext. And so text is what you say, subtext is what you mean, and how you say it. So that's really the basis of all of our training. Because we communicate in a billion different ways. So
that goes really well with one of the other questions that somebody asked, if I can move on to that one. So it's, how do people use the skills they learn at Montana Playwrights Network? So once they've learned all of these skills about how to communicate, so let's say you're a local business and you came and you did a workshop at Montana Playwrights Network, what do they do with that afterwards? Where do they take that?
Well, you would figure out how to keep it alive, so to speak. You would create a plan where you would create follow-up events or follow-up practices that help you be reminded, because it's in one ear out the other quite frequently.
Yeah.
And so to reinforce the notion of creating a positive story culture within your business, you have to remember that that's what's going on, and that's the only way you change behavior too. So you can understand things intellectually, but unless you practice it, you don't really then have the skill. You've just been exposed to it. So that's what I would do, would be to then help and it's actually part of the presentation, is how do you follow up and create a positive story culture in your business.
Oh, that sounds so cool.
Yeah.
So switching a little bit there, so you said that's one aspect of what Montana Playwrights Network does, but you do a lot of things. So another question that we have was, what has been one of your favorite events that you've done in the past?
Well, I really am tickled by seeing new plays in particular, because I'm a playwright myself, primarily in terms of writing. I also direct and act and costume design and lighting design. I mean, I do a lot of different things. But the thing that I enjoy the most is to get a script from either a beginning playwright, or it could be someone who has developed a career, etc. The experience is almost the same for both of them, because to see the words on page come alive on stage, and then to solicit or elicit a reaction from an audience, you never know it for sure if what you intend them to get is what they get. So I just love that interaction, that kind of a little bit of tension, because you don't know what's going to happen until it happens. So the new works that we do, because we call for plays all the time, and we ask people to send us scripts, and then we consider them for production, especially here at the Helena Avenue Theater, or the HAT as we call it, the HAT.
Perfect.
Yes, and so we do work with other groups, other theater companies, or other organizations in other communities around Montana, and then I encourage them to look at the new plays or the new stories that are being generated by their local residents, and then figure out how to share those stories either in a more formalized setting, like in a play, or in a public presentation of some sort.
Oh, that's lovely.
But you can, story is a very personal thing, because we're telling stories to ourselves all the time, and then we participate in other stories. So sometimes you write your story, and sometimes you have a part in that story. So by understanding how that all works, then it's the live production where you have the dynamics of live performers, live audience, and then watching what happens.
Absolutely.
That is, to me, the most thrilling part of
that
what
sounds
I do.
invigorating.
Yeah,
that sounds like a lot of
fun.
fun.
Well, and it keeps you young. I mean, that's the thing. I am kind of becoming, I'm getting up there. And so that's one of the things I've noticed, is that even though I can be considered an elder, I don't feel that way, and I've got one of my best friends is a 12-year-old.
Oh,
so,
part of the Montana Playwrights Network.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Yes, he's a member.
That's amazing.
And so, I mean, I'm just really thrilled with the interaction that happens all the time.
Absolutely.
And on a personal level, it keeps me engaged and involved and feeling productive, which is important.
That's amazing. Oh, thank you for sharing that. That sounds that sounds thrilling to come watch, and I'm very excited to the idea of coming and seeing some of our local writers creating something that we can go and witness as a performance too is incredible. Helena's just awesome for stuff like that. So cool to think about. That is a good lead in to our next question, which is, how do you become a member of MPN?
Well, we're open to literally everyone. And
Awesome.
so to become a member, you fill out the membership form, and then you pay an annual membership dues.
Okay.
And so for students of all ages and all kinds, they just have to prove that they're a current student.
Okay.
The membership is $15
Mhm.
a year annual. And then for an individual, it's $35 annually. And then for an organization, it is $50.
Okay.
And so it's very easy to become a member. People can drop by the theater and
Mhm.
also sign up that way, or give me a call and I will meet them.
Yeah.
But we have members from all over the state.
That's
so,
awesome.
Yeah.
Wow. That's so cool. I
Yeah.
love hearing about this. And then last of all, so we know that you have an event coming up, a very cool event, which I'm very excited to hear about. So would you please tell us about the event that you have coming up in just a couple weeks, right?
Yes. It's performing on December 1st and 2nd.
Okay.
We call it the Winter Lodge Rendezvous. We started the event 3 years ago. This is our third one. And in the first one, it actually grew out of one of our COVID projects.
Oh,
when
okay.
the pandemic was going on.
Mm-hmm.
We had to, of course, stay active. And since our major events and major purposes involve people,
Mm-hmm.
and we weren't really necessarily interested in going online and doing a lot of Zooming.
Yeah.
I mean, people were trying
Mm-hmm.
various ways of making that work. And we decided to go into radio.
Oh, okay. That's awesome.
Yeah, so we
Bring
created-
radio back.
Yeah, and we have really good staff at the theater, an audio engineer who is just
Wow.
marvelous. And
Cool.
so at any rate, we decided that we would do radio, and we created a radio show called Montanans at Work.
Mm-hmm.
And then it was based on an old 1920s radio show called America at Work,
Oh,
or
okay.
Americans at Work,
Uh-huh.
I think, something like that. And so we decided to just make it the state, and we chose 4 different themes. We did 4 different episodes, and the third episode was an episode exploring Native American humor
Okay.
and how the value or the purpose of humor within Native American culture,
Mm.
and also just what's funny,
Yeah.
because different cultures have different forms of humor.
Absolutely.
So we were very interested in what was different, what was
Mhm.
the same, and how could you make a living, or Montanans at work.
Mhm.
Then in this case, if you are a Native American who is emphasizing humor, what do you do?
Yeah.
And so that was a really interesting episode.
Yeah.
So, Mike Jetty, who
Mhm.
is a gentleman who works for OPI, Office of Public Instruction, as an American Indian specialist, educational specialist. He and I got together because I asked him to help me with the radio show.
Yeah.
And so it was during the taping of the shows that he said, you know what, we're getting all these people to come to Helena.
Mm-hmm.
And, we had set up elaborate COVID protocols
Mhm.
and stuff like that. So he said, it's a shame that we don't do more because we're getting them all to come to town.
Right.
And, they're here for a half-hour interview and then they're gone. What
Yeah.
can we do? And so it was, well, why don't we put them on stage?
Yeah, right.
We have a stage.
We have all of this equipment. We could
So-
make something.
Exactly.
That's
So
cool.
so that was out of the radio show, and one of our guests for the radio show was Christian Takes Gun Parish,
Mm.
who is Superman.
Yeah. I got to see him perform one year, and he was incredible. Oh, what a performer!
Yes. Well, he was our headliner that first year,
Yeah.
and in our theater, it's an 80-seat theater, and
Yeah.
so it's very intimate.
Yeah.
And so he was like literally right there.
That's awesome.
And I was so thrilled with his
Mhm.
performance. Of course,
Yes.
all of the performers were just outstanding.
Absolutely.
But I mean, to watch him engage the audience of all ages,
Mhm.
and to see how he could bring his particular artistry
Mhm.
into creating stories
Yeah.
with these people, and so with the audience, because it was part improv and part prepared material that he
Okay.
had, because
Cool.
he kind of plays every audience differently. So that was our first year, and it
Mhm.
went so well that we thought, well, let's do it again.
Yeah.
So we did, and that went very well. So
Awesome.
now we're into our third time.
Oh, that's amazing.
But it's called the Winter Lodge Rendezvous, and it is based upon the Native American tradition of telling stories in a winter lodge. In other words, when there's not a lot of hunting or
Mhm.
traveling going on, you're pretty well in camp.
Beautiful.
What do? You tell stories, you
Mhm.
share lore, and you share wisdom and interact with people. So.
Oh, that sounds amazing. Would you say this is a performance for all ages?
Oh yes,
Absolutely.
definitely.
Oh, that sounds great.
Definitely.
And that happens at the theater here.
Yes, at the Helena Avenue Theater, the Hat.
Awesome.
And the address for the Hat is 1319 Helena Avenue.
Excellent. And people
Yeah.
could go online to buy tickets for that?
They sure can.
Okay.
Our website, which is www.montanaplaywrights.org.
Okay.
And so, and it's WRIGHTS. So playwrights.org.
Perfect.
Montana is spelled out as a complete word.
Awesome. We'll make
So-
sure to include that in the video so that
Yes,
people can
thank
go
you.
to that link and get tickets to this amazing event, which
Yeah.
I'm going to go sign up for.
Good,
That
'cause
sounds
the first
fantastic.
year we only offered one
Yeah.
performance, and
Oh.
then in the second and third we've expanded to two.
Oh, that's awesome.
Because we have sold out every time.
Oh,
So
That's
if you're
incredible.
going to come, get
Yes.
your tickets.
Get your
right away.
tickets now. Are tickets on sale now?
Yes, they are.
Okay, so get your
Yes.
tickets now, people.
Exactly.
So that's good to know. Well, that is all the questions I have for you today. Thank you so much for coming to join us and to tell
Oh,
us
you
about
bet.
your amazing organization. And we'll make sure to share all of this information so people can be involved in one of the many ways that they're able to at Montana Playwrights